The Cloth Story. Today's episode is still here in my homeland, Kuching, Sarawak. There is still so much more to learn. The quest to find the story behind each cloth creation never feels enough, as knowledge never feels enough. So today, our journey will continue to several other places. Stay with me, Arabyrd, right here on The Cloth Story. In Sarawak, the Malay women would traditionally pair the songket with keringkam, while the men would wear it as sabok to accessorize the baju Melayu. These are the two of the most precious heritage of the Malay culture. Today, I continue my journey in exploring how this art is being preserved here in Sarawak. Tapi sinsari hujan tu, kita nyirup lo ah. The rain is nearly stopping. I am on my way to see Wan Bainun, one of Sarawak's most popular fashion designers whose creations retain the elements, designs, and origins of Sarawak.
For my collection, I like to combine songket with other fabric because I wanted it more modern, simple, and casual, not too costumey, where people can wear my collection to not just for formal function, but they can wear it for other casual function. And also I wanted to make it more affordable because we know that songket is very expensive. 1 to 2 meter songket costs about 1,000 ringgit. So by doing like that, mixing with other fabric, I can reduce the price and people can get it. This is a tribal butterfly where I request the weaver to do this kind of pattern. And I make it as a kaftan, and it is also very affordable because I only use only a little of songket Sarawak in my collection. I don't really use fully songket. For example, like this one, I make it as a pocket. This is the Sarawak songket with the motifs of berturus tali, also hand woven by the Seri Gedong songket.
Seri Gedong Songket. Located not far from the city of Kuching, it showcases a beautifully built original wooden house belonging to Ramtini YT Ramli. With me right now is Ramtini YT, an entrepreneur and the founder of Seri Gedong Songket here in Kampung Gedong Simunjan, Sarawak. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih kerana meluangkan masalah berjumpa kami orang ni untuk dengan workshop kita di situ.
Terima kasih juga kerana kita orang sudi datang ke Seri Gedong tu.
Thank you. Tahu kami kita tu adalah sebagai sebahagian daripada tenaga pengajar songket di Sarawak tu. Boleh sih kita cerita sikit kita pun personal experience ataupun kita pun reasons behind it.
Okey, kami bermula mengajar mengajar orang tenungan songket pada 2018 di pusat Sentek, itu di Sentubong Kuching, Sarawak.
Oh, okey.
Kami mengajar 2 orang tenaga pengajar dan tenaga pengajar yang akan mengajar lagi belia-belia yang belajar dekat Sia.
So tu ada Santex.
Ada Santex. After that kami dilantik oleh Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak untuk mengajar banduan yang berada di puncak Borneo Kuching.
Boleh sih kita cerita sikit tentang stories apa keunikan Sarawak pun songket?
Keunikannya banyak sebab setiap kain di songket Sarawak kita ada versi-versinya tersendiri. Kita ada kain penakan, kita ada kain balatak. Kain balatak yang sangat famous bagi orang dengar sebabnya dapat digunakan di bahagian depan dan di belakang kain.
That's amazing.
That's why kain balatak. Kita ada kain berturus, dan kita ada kain berune. Kain berune.
This is kain berune.
Berune. Jadi, okey. Untuk kain berune, ini adalah kain yang kami orang rasa yang ambil masa yang lama lah.
Paling
jadi,
lama
lama ambil masa untuk mengolah sigit tu lama sebab dia menggunakan teknik selit ikat. Jadi kita akan kami orang akan kasih sigit-sigit benang tu dan ditenun. Jadi nyesik boleh putus lah ni macam tu.
Oh, okay. So nya is a continuous threading process, weaving
jadi
process.
kita akan selitkan benang, dan matikan benang. Untuk bila menggunakan pakai teknik selit ikat kami orang akan sebutnya sebagai kain beruning. Kain beruning dan dia nyempun pala kain yang besar juga. Dan kita ada mahkota di situ. Untuk mahkota yang kami padah tadi, identiti kami dalam setiap kain.
Oh, so this is the mahkota she was talking about, the identity.
This one. Di Sarawak kita ada identiti the weavers orang dolok-dolok. Jadi di return kami balik. Sebab di Sarawak kita ada mempunyai kepala kain yang besar yang hampir cecah sampai 1 meter.
Besar daripada
kita ada besar sampai cecah 1 meter. Cuma atas permintaan orang kini tu, tidak si mau pakai besar, jadi cukuplah setengah meter je dalam bahagian kepala kain. Tapi kita menggunakan teknik songket Sarawak.
I see. The menerai process, one of the processes carried out before weaving the songket. It requires a high level of patience for each strand of thread that needs to be wound onto the weaving tool. The mengane or menganing process is the process where the loseng thread is arranged in the pemidang or frame to obtain the length of the cloth as well as the desired design of the cloth's base. After determining the design of the cloth, the threads will be pulled strand by strand according to the correct count.
For me, the hardest part of doing songket is the process. It requires high precision and patience. That two element is very important in order to produce a finest and quality songket weaving.
No matter where the songket comes from, whether from the peninsula or from Borneo, it must be preserved so that its uniqueness will remain for all to see without letting it go extinct.
Rahsianya adalah untuk membuat tenunan tu si boleh stres. Jadi bila tidak stres ataupun ada weaver stres, tidak harus berhenti sekejap, keluar dari adukan tenun, and then saya harus berhenti sekejap untuk pergi minum ke, pergi makan sekejap ke, relax, and then bawa sambung balik. Jadi kesabaran sangat penting dalam tenunan songket.
Okay. What makes the Sarawak songket a bit more special is the fact that it can be used by both male and female. That's why it is made slightly wider than the usual. Nah, apa penggunaannya untuk laki dan perempuan itu?
Menua laki yang pakai sebagai sabuk dua jari. Sabuk dua jari.
Sabuk dua jari would translate to sampin. Two finger sampin. Sebab dia makin
lebih atas buku lali.
It's worn 2 fingers above the ankle.
Dan untuk perempuan yang boleh digunakan sebagai sarung, kain sarung. Dan ataupun salah sikitnya berkoyok. Berkoyok yang akan memasukkan sebagai tudung lah, tudung kepala orang dolok marik.
Boleh cuba?
Boleh.
Lebih berat lah. Ini orang lama makan tu. The responsibilities of people before must be very heavy because this is very heavy. So women wear it as sarongs as well, and this is called a koyok.
Yeah, koyok.
Which is so demure to me. I mean, look at the change. The cloth story.
Asal-usulnya pun dari segi motifnya, nak kata nak beza dengan songket Kelantan Terengganu tadi, exactly sama sebenarnya. Pucuk rebung, motif tabur apa semua ya. Tapi ditambahnya juga motif lain. Walaupun sisi yang masih pakai motif Melayu Melayu, so di tengahnya guna motif orang Ulu. So motif pun bermain peranan untuk membezakan. Biasanya orang luar, macam orang daripada Semenanjung nak beli songket Sarawak, bila kita display motif biasa yang macam-macam Terengganu dengan motif orang luar, yang prefer pilih yang berapa yang tahu beli daripada Sarawak.
Yang nak nunjuk
daripada Sarawak. Memang nyampun apa tu, nyampun elemen Sarawak yang memberi kelebihan lah kat saya. Walaupun sebenarnya asal motif orang Ulu tu bukan motif songket. Tapi kita dah develop ada sikit-sikit yang pun perbezaan lah dari segi yang motif dulu ya. Tapi dari segi komersial yang menyebabkan permintaan.
In my opinion, the beauty of songket is it is a very interesting Malay handicraft art where it has the aesthetic value not only on the songket surface, but it carries the meaning behind of the motif.
So talented, like guys.
Any fabrics actually it tells a story, you know. So when a fabric came from a different generation, it carries a heavy story behind it. If you really care about certain types of fabric or background or ethnicity or someone's origins, it is important for us to tell the world what we really are.
Because I've always wanted to be inspired by my heritage. And my heritage is all the Sarawak motifs that is very rich all around us. The colours, the dyes they use, the very unorthodox motifs of certain ethnic groups. But I always choose the ones where I don't offend the community. Because before I actually design anything, I will ask the elders of the community for advice or this expert in this field for advice. Because when you get inspired by something old and of certain rich heritage, you must always respect the work. Because like for the Puak Kumbu, they have to dream the motif. They have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to pick the roots so they get a particular color to dye the thread. You know, like you've got to be a warrior or a male to be able to weave a serpent into a weave. You know, and there are certain communities that don't wear red. So you have to actually learn first before you actually simply be inspired by certain fabric. You know, so that's when you actually respect the community where these people create all these motifs, you know.
We are about to meet Jacqueline Fong, the owner and founder of Tanoti here in Kuching. Hello, hi. Jackie. Can I call you Jackie?
Yes, please.
Hi, how are you doing? Thank you for making the time for us.
Thanks for coming.
It's a lovely place. It's so quaint up here on the hill, but smack in the middle of town. It's beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Tanoti. Tell us a bit about Tanoti.
Tanoti actually was started in 2012.
Yeah, such an international name, by the way.
I know. But it's actually a Sanskrit name, and it means entwine and weave.
Yeah.
And we believe that the fabric of the Malay archipelago originated from India, and we decided that we would pay homage to the Indians and have a Sanskrit name.
Oh, that's a really cool idea behind the name. That's cool. And what are they doing right here?
This is dyeing.
This is the first step usually, right?
This is usually the first step, yes. They've finished the process of dyeing.
Yeah. Rinsing now.
And now they're rinsing off the dye.
Yeah.
This is a fuchsia color that we are dyeing.
Oh, okay. So this, you tie it up in...
hangs.
Hangs like this? It's called hangs? Okay. Yeah. And then they go through this process. How long does this take?
Half a day to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm sure it's as beautiful because I love fuchsia. It's amazing. So what happens after this?
What happens after this? Then we will go through, they will have to dry.
Yeah.
The threads have to be very, very dry, and then they will start doing this process called menerai.
Oh, so talking about drying threads, right? In the East Coast, they've said that production of any type of cloth, batik, songket, whatever, it sort of slows down during the monsoon season because they can't seem to speed up the process, so everything really slows down. Do you have that trouble with threads like this, or can you do it indoors?
We dry them indoors.
Oh, okay. How long does that take to dry?
Until it's dry, honestly.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes it takes longer and sometimes shorter.
Oh,
and we will just be hanging the threads, you know, on frames.
Ah, okay.
They will just...
The Cloth Story.
Do you mind sharing me a bit of information about your weavers? Like maybe a bit of background story or how long it takes for them to actually be able to complete a piece?
A weaver is obviously a human being, right?
Yeah.
And we want to go through every process by hand.
Yeah.
And we will allocate one piece per weaver. So that weaver will inject her spirit, her life, her soul.
Yeah.
She's angry with her boyfriend. It's all in the piece.
Yeah.
And the weaver is, it could be anyone, but because she produced something,
Yeah.
that piece actually is part of her.
Yeah.
And we like that fact. We like the fact that we do not compromise on our songket. We don't swap weavers. We don't stop somebody weaving one piece and then jump to another. No, we don't do that.
So
we like
you just allow them to sort of organically finish a piece.
to finish it largely by herself.
Okay. And I was at Gedong, Kampung Gedong, and I met Tinit, who I believe used to work with you.
Yes.
Yeah. And she showed me a few of her songkets that is inspired by the Orang Ulu motif. What are your thoughts on that? Or is it something that you are very familiar with and you work with as well?
We are Sarawak, so
Yeah.
we celebrate Sarawak.
Yeah.
We have 42 or more than 40 ethnic groups.
Yeah.
And we inspire each other,
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be for the end of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, we want to be inspired
Yeah.
by cultures that are not our own,
Yeah.
and we embrace them.
So what I've noticed from your little workshop tour is that you seem to, the Tanoti brand likes to break the boundaries a bit. I know you do keep into your traditional techniques and stuff like that, but you explore and experiment a lot. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, we love to experiment.
Yeah.
We have people who are working day in and day out.
Yeah.
And I think it has to be interesting for them
Yeah.
to continue this as a career.
Yeah.
So what better way than to, experiment and innovate?
Yeah.
We believe that weaving is not only about thread,
Yeah.
because you are putting strands of whatever through the
Yeah.
loom,
Yeah.
and then you produce something.
Yeah.
We tried doing with rattan, as
Yeah.
you can see, and it was with success.
Yeah.
And we thought, let's try and do other materials. We even started weaving with alloys, like copper. Yeah, I know.
To make? Well,
Artwork.
okay.
Yeah. So
That's very interesting.
it's things that we want to do.
Yeah.
As you can see,
Yeah.
to push the boundaries,
Yeah.
to create depth and texture.
Yeah.
And leather is a no-brainer to us
Yeah.
because leather is pliable. It's got its own look. Sometimes it's suede, which is with texture. Sometimes it's shiny, like what you've got.
Yeah.
It's a metallic.
What is this exactly?
Copper. It's a leather strip.
To be very frank with you, the moment I laid my eyes on this is something I see on international runways, and it's really amazing.
Thank you.
I really do think So this is your workshop? Do I call it a workshop?
Yes, this is our workshop. And our weavers actually weave here. They live upstairs, and in the mornings, they will come down and weave.
They are trained weavers, or are they in training? Do you have classes here? Do you teach, or they are already mastered the skills?
They are all sorts of levels of weavers.
Yeah.
Some are trainees, some are seniors.
Yeah.
And the seniors mentor and train the juniors.
I know you have a few innovations in your songket, like the one I'm wearing right now. This is a leather songket. You heard it here first, guys.
So in Sarawak songket, what we have is a series of sife or thread counts.
Yeah.
So this is 2 thread and then 3 thread, 4 and then 4. So when a weaver looks at a pattern, she will decide which sife to use.
So do they memorize this?
No, they keep it there.
Oh, okay. So there are two other things that I know you do. You do rattan.
Yes.
And also your transparent, what was it just now?
Organza.
Organza.
Yes.
So this is your?
I'll show you the rattan weaving.
Yeah.
So we have the same warp.
Yeah.
And we've introduced rattan into the weft.
Yeah.
So that it will, this one actually. So,
Okay.
And this as well, yes. So that it will lend structure to
Yeah.
the fabric.
Yeah.
And it can become something more hardy, like
Yeah.
a table runner, placemats.
Yeah.
So,
this is a table,
this is a proposed placemat.
Okay.
And then this is a table runner.
This is really nice. I like the designs and the motif on it is quite modern.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is that something you are trying to advocate?
This is a sample for Bonia.
Is there a message you would like to share to people out there who would like to explore and experiment the songket like you?
If anybody who would like to experiment, I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
They have to stay true to their values because a lot of people will talk.
Yeah.
And they should do it as fast as possible because then they will have no guts if they don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So just jump right in.
Just do it.
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it. Well, thank you so much for having us and taking me around. And I'm looking forward to seeing what other things that you come up with. Hopefully work with you maybe, you know, and thank you so much for having us. It was such a fun time with you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed myself.
Thank you.
May the songket Tenun Sarawak become an inspiration for all its people as well as everyone who is watching, so that it will live forever. With me, Arabyrd, unveiling the story behind our textile heritage in the cloth story. See ya!